Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruz.
I'm George Camel.
And this is
Smart Money Happy Hour.
Cheers. Oh, I did my wrong arm. I usually hold my
I didn't know you had a right arm. Wow.
Okay, well, this is the show where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. Everything from pop culture, current events, and money.
And today, we're addressing one of the most frequently asked questions we get. We get a lot of questions, but this one takes the cake.
For sure. Okay, so what are we sipping on while we chat about it?
This, if you know your drink vessels, this is a Moscow Mule. It's in a traditional copper mug, and it is very cold to hold.
It's freezing, actually. Well, before we dive into that, George, should we just take a little quick trip down memory lane back years ago when we had a dream? We had a dream of having a podcast where we have a cocktail, talk about fun topics, laugh, cry, enjoy ourselves when it comes to this idea of money. And now, George, look
Here
at
we
us.
are.
100 episodes later. Happy 100th birthday, George.
Wow.
A dream that becomes reality.
I got to say, we look great for 100. That's
We're
amazing.
aging so well.
Honestly, the haters doubted, and we made it despite them.
Y'all, and you
They didn't want us to keep going, but we did. We persevered.
We said, I will be the little engine that could.
That's pretty amazing.
And I will keep on going.
I can't even think of like 100 topics. So shout out to the team behind the scenes who comes up with this stuff, helps write it, edit it, produce it, title it, thumbnail it.
Brilliant. We love them all.
So this is a shout out, really, a celebration of the team, but also to the listeners for sticking around. Whether you're brand new or you were around from the very beginning, bless your heart for being here. And I don't mean that in the sassy Southern way.
We are so glad
just in a truthful, gratitude is the attitude way.
Yeah. You know, and speaking of 100, when we're 100, I hope we're retired.
I would hope so.
Enjoying our lives and living off of our investments.
I hope I'm alive. I don't really care about retirement at that point.
So there's a trend going on right now that says, explain it to me like I'm 5.
Oh, yeah. There's an entire subreddit called Explain Like I'm 5, where people just go, hey, I don't understand how planes work. Can someone explain like I'm 5?
Yeah.
And then the job is, can you explain how airplanes work, which is a pretty complex thing.
Still don't get it.
Like you were explaining it to a 5-year-old.
Yeah. How about fax machines? Remember those? How does that work?
Like, you dial a number, put a piece of paper in, and somehow that piece of paper is printed.
Comes, I know.
It like copies it, registers the information, sends it through a phone line.
You know, a fax machine can really date you, George. When you like watch movies and stuff, The Parent Trap. Do you remember The Parent Trap?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of The Parent Trap?
I mean, I haven't watched it in like 20 years.
She faxes the sister across the pond to London that says like 911 with like a dog that's saying it, but it comes out of a fax machine. I'm like, I didn't realize Parent Trap was that old. Like you know what I mean? It's things like that. They really date you.
Some of my first jobs, I had to use the fax machine to send stuff to, customers.
There you go.
So.
I know, y'all, unbelievable.
Not as young as I look.
But explain it to me like I'm 5. So we're going to do that. We're going to do that in the old investing world.
I like this.
There's a lot of confusion here. But before we deep dive into the 101 of investing, how about a little warm up, George?
Okay. I never say no to an intellectual competition. Often I do that for physical competition. But I never pass up.
Do you reject a physical competition?
Yes.
If
someone today wanted to fight me, and I was like, why would
I? No, they didn't.
Yes. And he was 6'1".
Stop it.
Yeah.
At the office
It was
here?
the child of a team member here. Sturdy 18-year-old fella. And he was like, put him up. And I was like, I'm not going to fight you. I don't enter competitions I know I can't win.
Were you mean to him, or was he just having fun?
No, he was just trolling, having a good time.
I'm sure he was.
But that's what bullies do, Rachel.
They
want to fight. It's David and Goliath.
Well, you know what, George? You know your best asset right here. Not just a hat rack.
It's what's inside that counts.
That brain, George, of yours. You can really
You know what? This makes me want to have a physical competition with you. Let's get on the skateboard and see who wins.
Okay. Let's throw a lacrosse ball and see if you can catch it.
That's not a real sport.
What?
I'm sorry, but what are we doing with these sticks? And you're picking up the ball and you run with the ball and you chuck the ball.
Oh, George.
It's just strange.
Sorry,
I'm from Massachusetts.
Let me take a board and put some little wheels on it and just wheel my way
around.
Little wheels?
I'm sorry. Tell that to Tony Hawk while he's doing the 900 at the X Games.
I don't know. I just hear wah, 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 wah. I don't even know what any of that means. Here's a question.
Let's continue.
Is a sport without a ball, is that really a sport? That's a big debate
Yes,
people have.
it's called an extreme sport because it's more difficult than traditional sports. Have you ever heard that?
No.
That's why they call it the X Games, extreme.
Well, I know it's called extreme, but you're feeling very elitist. Are you okay?
I'm not elitist. I just think I've been dogged for my
take a
lack
sip.
of athleticism.
Just take a sip and relax.
And I'm like, I was almost a professional skateboarder. Almost.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So let's do the extreme sports of investing, shall we?
You know what? Investing is an extreme sport.
This is very exciting.
Simplify it.
Okay, so let's just see. Let's see if we can do this.
Okay.
I'm going to throw out an investing term, and you can throw them out back to me. We can go back and forth, or it can just be you, and see if we can explain it in 30 seconds or less.
Who has the timer?
I can.
All right, go.
I'm ready.
Who wants to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
The first word is mutual fund. So a mutual fund is 90 to 200 stock in a fund. So it's a fund that is mutually funded. So think about stocks like American Airlines. I was going to say Delta. I don't know why airlines are in. Walmart, Microsoft, Apple. Think about all these companies, right? And you have 90 to 200 of those stocks in a fund. Now, there are different types of mutual funds, but a traditional mutual fund, that is what it is. And we like it because you diversify, you spread around your money, which is very important.
That was pretty good.
I actually think we should make this harder.
Oh.
No, I did pretty good. That was
I think
pretty
we
good.
should do 20 seconds.
20 seconds, and you got to throw in a random word and see if you can work it into the definition. Now, that's fun.
Okay.
What? Why are we making
And
this
I got the random word.
exponentially?
Here we go. You ready, George?
Okay.
Okay, get
Ready.
And still keep 30 seconds because we may need it. 30 seconds.
Okay,
All right.
ready?
Hey, hold on. Okay. Stock market and elephant. Go.
A stock market is a place that investors go to trade and buy stocks and mutual funds. And so when you think about this, it's regulated, it's transparent. There's different indexes on the stock market that track different companies. And so, they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And the same is true with investing in the stock market. You choose a fund and you hope that the value of that fund or stock grows over time, giving you an ROI.
Time.
Wow, George Camel.
That was not. It wasn't great.
That was so good.
Were you in debate? Were you in debate club? How nerdy are you that this
That
lights you
was
up?
so good. Yeah, I did DECA. I was in a marketing club. That was so good.
And it shows.
And Toastmasters. I did a lot of that. Well done, George. Oh
Thank
my gosh.
you.
Can't get my
All right.
Never mind.
Tell me when you're ready. Ready?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm so nervous.
All right.
Go.
Compound interest and ninja.
So compound interest is a mathematical explosion, if you will. And Albert Einstein, who some would say are ninjas of the genius world.
All right.
It means that your money grows. So your money, when you invest it, it builds interest. So it makes interest on depending on, what you invested in. But the great thing is, it's not just the principal and the interest that you're making on. Once you earn that, dadgummit.
You were on a roll though.
I know. You
were
make
getting to the
it-
good part.
Yeah, the good part. And so that is the next year, you don't make interest on just the principal that you put in. You make interest on the principal and the interest you earned the year before, and it just keeps building.
Your money makes money, and that money makes money.
Just remember, Einstein was a ninja of the genius world. That was very good, though. Right?
You're so proud. Okay.
All right, ready,
Are
George?
you ready, George? Tell me.
Sure.
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
NASDAQ and dirt.
All right. NASDAQ is one of the indexes that I mentioned that trades on the stock market. And if you want to know what it stands for, I have it written down. National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotations. You never need to know that because it's a stupid name. But what you do need to know, it's the second largest stock exchange in the world. And what was the secret word?
Dirt.
And dirt. And so when you think about this is a pile of dirt that is worth its weight in
Time.
gold.
That was very good. Okay, next.
Company match and banana.
Ready, go.
Okay, so your company match is traditionally with a 401k if you work for a nonprofit, a 403b, but this is where they match the percentage that you put into an account. And so you think about it and it's like, man, on the outside it looks great, but just like a banana, when you actually peel back what is inside the fund, it's delicious and wonderful. So you always want to go up to the company match when you're investing in retirement. That was pretty good.
Wow.
You still had a few seconds to spare,
She didn't
girl.
need it. She didn't need it.
That was pretty
This
good.
is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where he just like wasted time because he knew the answer. And he made the call, just be like, hey, Dad, I just want to let you know, I just won $1 million.
Are you ready for the next one?
I hope so.
Okay, let me think. Okay.
Ready, go.
Diversification and hammer.
Okay, diversification is a strategy where you spread out your money amongst different investments or assets for a better chance and less risk. And so when you think about this, in terms of secret word,
Hammer.
hammer, you got a hammer and a nail, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you need more than just a hammer. Sometimes you need a drill. Sometimes you need a screw instead of a nail. And so this is diversification. If you got a toolbox, you need more than a hammer.
That was good.
For a guy who knows nothing
good.
about home improvement,
I know. I tried to really throw you off.
sometimes you need a
With a
circular
hammer.
saw.
With a hammer. Should have
Okay.
given you hair gel.
Next up, net worth
Okay.
and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and
Okay, here we go. So your net worth is what you own minus what you owe. So that is the equal definition of a net worth. And we always talk about net worth millionaires, really wealthy people. If you remember Mary Poppins, that really wealthy family. Yeah, they had to hire a nanny and she came in and really helped out that family. And she sang a song called Superfragilisticexpialidocious. And it was so great to that net worth millionaire family that was in Mary Poppins.
Wow. It helped increase their net worth.
Oh man,
I was going to
that was a
say,
struggle.
when you have an amazing net worth and you build that nest egg, you can hire Mary Poppins so she can just go around the house singing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Okay, that wasn't your round, so I don't care what
I was
you
just
would have
helping you
said.
out.
We've got one last
In
round.
hindsight,
here we go.
there was
Here we go.
improvement. Okay.
George, this is for you. Let me think. Okay, I got it. Delete me and tape.
All right, go.
Wow. Okay. Delete Me is a sponsor of today's episode, and they are an internet safety service that finds and deletes your personal info from the bowels of the internet. Have you ever heard of a tapeworm, Rachel?
Yes.
It's disgusting, and that can live in your bowels, and so you don't want that. And so what Delete Me does, it helps you avoid having the tapeworms of fraud and risk.
All
and
the data
scams.
brokers, those tapeworms.
That's what they do. They don't want me to make that analogy because it's disgusting, but that's what it does. And a lot of our activity related to money, it's online these days. And so I love that from shopping to online banking portals to budgeting apps, they help protect you from data brokers taking this information and using it against you to eventually get your money.
Yes.
So we love Delete Me around here. It's a great service. They find, remove that information. They send you a report that's easy to use and read. They've saved me over 33 hours, which is time I can spend doing stupid challenges with you.
There you go.
I love
Well,
it.
and it is great. I mean, I signed up and it's like, yeah, it takes some time, right? So you just you have to have your license. Like they do their work on the front end, which is so great. It's not that long of a process, but you feel really safe and secure. And then when you get your report, you're like, what are these websites that I've never heard of?
CreepyPeopleFinder.com,
Yes,
get me out
it's
of there.
crazy, you guys. So it is well worth it. We love Delete Me.
Yeah, check it out. They're giving our listeners a deal right now. You can get 20% off any of the Delete Me plans by going to joindeleteme.com/smartmoney, or you can click the link in the show notes.
So great. All right, George, let's give the people what they want.
What do they want?
Let's talk about investing. How do we do this? What does it look like? What should we be doing? Let's walk through it.
Don't you feel like part of adulting is one of those things you eventually face is like, oh gosh, what the heck? How do I invest? What do I do?
Yes.
It's so complicated. We are your friends that are like, we're the cool friends who invest.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, everyone
You've been
should.
investing for how many years now? I mean, since you were a toddler, I feel like.
Since I was a toddler. When we started working in high school, we worked enough hours
As soon as you had earned income,
to be able
Roth
to,
IRA.
Roth IRA.
We'll talk
We
about
did,
that.
which was, it's a huge benefit. It really is. So I think that the earlier you start, obviously, the better off you're going to be.
and there's no excuses. Like, don't be 80 years old and be like, well, I never learned. I'm like, we have access to the internet now and great shows like this. Just learn.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. It's not going to take over your life. It's a set it and forget it model that we're going to show you today.
For sure. And you're never too old to not invest, right? So some people are like, I'm too old, I just shouldn't do it. No, do it. And we have a great investing calculator. We'll put that link in the show notes, but go and run some numbers
It's fun.
and see it. Yeah, I'm like, it really is motivating to be like, okay, I can do that. Like even an extra $50 a month and you can see what it turns into. It's great.
Check out that in the show notes. Lots of resources, in fact, about investing, the stuff we're talking about today. It's in the description and show notes if you want more.
All right. So lay down a foundation, George, of when you are ready to invest.
That's a good point. A lot of people are trying to do 17 things at once, and you can't do any of them well. So here's the time when you know, all right, I'm ready to actually invest, meaning I'm going to put money into a retirement account. I want this money to grow. And the time to do that is once you're completely debt-free, no consumer debt, with a fully funded emergency fund. That sets the foundation. You're not paying for the past anymore. You can start building for the future. So that's baby step 4 in the Ramsey plan, which is invest 15% of your household income into retirement.
Yeah. So when you're at that point and you're going to invest 15%, remember this. Match beats Roth beats traditional. So in a perfect world, you'd take 15% of your income and you'd say, okay, I'm going to go up to my company's match. So let's say it's 5% that they match, right? So you go up to the 5%. So that means technically you have 10% of your income left. And your company, what they match does not count towards your 15%. Okay, so their 5% is free. It's what you put in. So you got 10% left. So go over to your Roth IRA. And if you're able to max it out, you can. I think it's $7,000
$7,000
this year. Okay. So up to $7,000. Now, if you still have more of 15%, you can go back to your 401k and go ahead and put money into that. So that's kind of the formula that you do. And those are really the 2 best retirement vehicles. Now, if you somehow are a really high income earner and you max out both of those, then that's when you can look into things like your HSA. You can use that as a retirement vehicle.
Health savings account.
Yeah, health savings account. Even index funds, if you want to look into something like that, or just some standard mutual funds. But again, that 401k and Roth IRA,
that's all you
they're
need.
huge.
So let me say that. You can become a multimillionaire from those 2 accounts alone. And again, the 401k or a 403b if you're a nonprofit or a teacher, a TSP if you're government or military, those are all essentially the same. It's a tax-advantaged retirement account. And the Roth IRA, that just means it's outside of an employer. When you hear IRA, just think this is not connected to my employer.
Individual
Anybody who
retirement
earns money
account.
can do this. And a fun fact, let's say you have a stay-at-home spouse, you can open up a spousal IRA, spousal Roth IRA, and fund that. So just because you're a stay-at-home parent doesn't mean that you can't invest.
Yeah, which is huge. And then I'll throw this out because we get this question a lot too about pensions. A lot of people
yeah.
have pensions. So if you have a pension, then really we say just divide it in half, that percentage. So say it's like 7% or something. So just take.
If they force you to contribute 7% of your income into the pension, we count that as half.
So 3.5% is part of the 15%. The other half is lost because a pension is what they control. They control all the investments on their side. You don't have the freedom to choose. And so again,
and they perform poorly. So it's
Usually.
kind of hedging your bets by going like, I'm not going to count this as full, but we'll count it for something.
For sure.
Okay.
So within, let's just stick with the 401k and the Roth IRA. So even within those accounts, here's what's tricky, you guys.
That's just a type of account. It's just a treatment.
this is a adulting mistake we've heard. Do not make this mistake. You can open up those accounts and actually put money in the account and it just stays. You have to take one more step and actually invest that money.
Purchase some shares and funds inside of
Yes. So we talked to some people on the Ramsey show and they're like, I thought it was already done.
I opened a 401k.
Yeah. And then they go back and like, nothing happened. We're like, oh no, you put money in that account, but you didn't go and invest into it. So a couple of ways that we look at this, because you even want to diversify how you invest that money in those funds. So we talked about mutual funds earlier. I don't know what our code word was in that game that we were playing, but mutual funds.
It may have been the first one. We didn't have a word
Oh,
yet.
that's true. Yeah, it's the 90 to 200 stock. But there's different types of those funds. So, George, what are the 4 mutual funds that we say to invest in?
So you might see these names. You might see them listed as other things like small cap, mid cap, large cap. But the 4 types are growth and income. And these are sort of like the foundation of your portfolio. They're very stable. These are companies that have been around forever. And they're not going to like have crazy growth. But we also know they're not going to take a deep nosedive either.
That's right.
So that's number 1. The next one is just growth. So we have growth and income, then growth. These are filled with stocks from U.S. companies that are still in the up and up, but the performance tends to ebb and flow with the stock market as a whole. So this is kind of like your medium, middle ground. Then you have aggressive growth. And this is more of the roller coaster. These are the smaller companies. Think like Silicon Valley startups. And when they're up real high. You're like, woo! But they can go down. Buckle up. You might be in for a ride. And so that's kind of the wild child. And then you have international as the final category, which is international companies that, they might do business here in the U.S., but they're based out of, Sweden or who knows where.
Right.
And these also help spread your risk beyond American soil because we found there's a inverse relationship. When American stock market might be down, the international side will be up. And so that helps also kind of manage some of the risk.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 types you want in your portfolio. You can just split those, a quarter here, a quarter there, a quarter here, a quarter there. And that adds up to 100%.
Yeah, and you can sit down with an investment professional. We'll put a link to find somebody in your area here in the show notes. But sit down with somebody that does this, right? It can feel very overwhelming. I know as we're throwing this out with like cocktails and conversation, we're just talking about it. It can feel a lot. So again, it doesn't have to be that confusing, but having a pro in your corner, I think really does. It helps. And I'd also say make investing part of your monthly budget. Now your 401k usually is taken out of your paycheck. So what you bring home and what you're actually budgeting is maybe different. But have that savings line item in your budget and just know, hey, this is what we're working towards. This is the money that's going to be invested.
Now, have we talked about Roth yet and made it clear what the difference is? Because you hear those words a lot. Traditional 401k.
Oh, that's true. No,
Roth.
yeah.
We are big fans of Roth around here. And the reason is you're using after-tax money. So you don't get a tax deduction like you would with a traditional 401k. And people might say, well, I love my tax deduction, Rachel. It helps lower my tax bill. Well, here's the thing. You're going to have to pay taxes on that money way later in retirement after it's grown to a pretty crazy number. So the beautiful thing about Roth accounts is if you have $2 million in a Roth account, that means you've already paid taxes on it. It's essentially like saying you have $2 million of net after-tax income at your disposal.
Yep.
And so we don't know what tax rates will be like when we retire one day. I'm making the assumption that they're probably going to be a little bit higher than they are today. And I don't want to have to figure out how much I want to spend in retirement to avoid taxes. I just want to go, I want to ball out in retirement and not think about what the taxes are going to be. That's why I love Roth.
Yep. All right, George, you are a Debbie Downer sometimes.
It feels like a weird disclaimer, but okay.
I'm kidding. But what are the no's of investing? Like, go down the list and just be like, no, 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 no. Don't
I've
do
never
it.
done this before, this move with
This
the finger on the finger.
This is like an X, like a no, 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 no.
You're right. I covered this in the chapter of my book, Breaking Free from Broke. I did a whole chapter on investment traps because as much as there is great, financial information out there and investing is super simple, there's so many idiots on the internet trying to overcomplicate it and trying to sell you on things that you shouldn't be investing in.
And they make it sound great.
Oh, they make it sound like, they'll be like, the 401k is a scam invented by the government. What you really need is to buy my course. And I'm like, okay, maybe don't listen to that guy.
Or life insurance is for your life while you're living, so use it. And then, and then you're like, oh my God, why have I not been doing this? Because it's not right.
So let's throw some out there and let's get some takes on what they are and why
One
they're
of your
bad.
favorites, George, cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Crypto.
You've heard me say that cryptocurrency is Mary Kay for young men. And I stand by that. And I talked to a family member yesterday who is obsessed with crypto. And even he was like, oh yeah, it's like a scam. It's for degenerate gamblers is what he said.
Oh my gosh.
Because here's why. You're betting on crypto. Don't tell me you're investing in crypto. It's a bet.
It's a bet, yeah.
It's speculative, meaning that crypto doesn't have any real worth.
And
it's super risky.
As the conspiracy theorist of the group, let me just say though, come, 20, 30 years, like where our digital world is going, I'm not saying that digital currency isn't going to happen, like that it may not be a thing. So there may be a time and a place that it actually starts working.
Sure, if there's crypto inside of a mutual fund that has a great track record.
And it has, but that it may have a good track record down the road. But where we stand today, you guys, it's not. It is a gamble. And there's so many scams in that world too.
A lot of fraud, a lot of
So many
scams.
people lose money, signed up for stuff that's just a complete scam. So watch out for that.
Next.
NFTs.
Non-fungible tokens.
I mean, this is so
Do you know anyone that
strange.
actually bought an
No,
NFT?
because it was a really big deal 2 years ago. And then I feel like they kind of,
They've died out.
I don't know. I
Other
feel like I
than
don't
Trump
have-
selling his NFTs of himself as superheroes. Have you seen that?
No.
They were rare, limited edition.
Stop it.
Yeah, they were hilarious.
Okay,
But
get ready for
non-fungible tokens, they're basically a digital asset that you can flex. It's a flex of ownership over, it's really a sense of ownership because you don't actually own the artwork.
Yeah.
You own a digital version of that artwork that you can flex and be like, well, I actually own it. It means nothing. You can never resell them for what you paid for it. Avoid these at all costs.
So funny. Okay, investing apps.
Ooh, so I'm thinking Acorns and
Yeah.
Betterment and Wealthfront. There's 1,000 out there.
Yeah.
Robinhood.
That make it really easy to get in the market and buy some stock and sell it. And I mean, they make it super easy.
Yeah. As we know, apps are just dangerous. And I think apps they exist to take your money, not make you money when it comes to investing. And so they'll lure you in with notifications and here's a trade and here's a deal and we'll give you this credit and this free stock. And it causes people to make really terrible decisions and jump in and out, which we never recommend. So I would recommend sticking, if you're going to do it yourself, stick with the big dogs with actual big websites like Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab.
Right.
Those are the top 3.
Yeah, because with the apps, it is this instant decisions that you make. And usually when it comes to investing, that is the wrong way to go about it. Like you want to be in it for the long haul. And this like quick in and out feel, it's
not the
great.
vibe.
Not great. All right, let's go ETFs.
Oh, that's a fun one. Okay, this one I'm not like mad at. It's an exchange traded fund. So what this means is you think about a mutual fund like we talked about, but it trades like a stock. So with mutual funds, it's at the end of the day, the mutual fund is worth a price. With ETFs and stocks, the price will change during the day. And so that can cause people to jump in and out trying to time the market, which I never recommend. So the ETFs as a whole, totally fine. They can have really low costs, low fees, which is great. And it's a bundled group of stocks like a mutual fund, but it can cause people to behave and invest in a way that is risky.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so just a couple other, we'll list some stuff out here. Permanent life insurance, single stocks, day trading, bonds, annuities, micro investing, money market accounts, index funds, CDs, REITs, gambling.
RESPECTs.
What? Oh my gosh. Respect, precious metals, leveraged, real estate. So
Just
some
a lot of
these,
things out there. Some of them aren't terrible things.
Yeah, money market accounts aren't bad. Yeah, but again,
they range from like okay to absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
But none of these I would recommend for investing.
That's right. That's right. So investing is for
Long-term.
the long term, 5 years or more. That was great, George.
I had a good time. I can't speak for the listeners.
We hope you did.
That was it. I feel like if you were gonna have like a little primer on investing, that was a good like 20 minutes and you're done.
You're welcome. I hope that was good for everyone.
Painless.
Okay, it's almost the end of the episode, and we close out every episode with Guilty as Charged. And this is where our producer, Lindsay, gives us a new Guilty as Charged question every week. And if we're guilty, we take a sip. Lindsay?
Yes. So I've asked you before if you've ever re-gifted a gift you were given, remember?
Yep.
But have you ever sold something you received as a gift?
Oh, that's next level.
Oh,
know.
gosh.
On the marketplace.
On the marketplace?
The marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace
Oh,
or
gosh.
somewhere.
Man, I would have to go back to like wedding time, 15 years ago. Like, I feel like when
Where did you sell stuff back then?
Well, no, I was going to say,
Horse and
when we
buggy?
moved in 2018, we had a closet, y'all, in our house that still had stuff from our wedding that, like, we didn't use.
Did you sell it at like a garage
That's
sale?
what I'm trying to think, like, what we did with some of that. I feel like we gave some of it away. I feel like, I don't know. I'm going to say I'm innocent. I cannot think of a thing that I sold that I was gifted. I can't think of it.
Yeah. I know I'm guilty. I can't think of the thing, but here's why I know. I know that feeling because I was like, oh no, I hope the person who gave it to us doesn't see this on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I may have attempted and then went, nope, I'm not doing it. Too risky. So
Wow, we
I'm
are
gonna go not guilty, but did I think about it? Was there malice? Was there intent? Yes.
We are so innocent.
Wow.
It's risky. I'm just saying, like, you
We're
got to be
not-
careful
we're
who
not
you
innocent.
sell it to.
We're not innocent usually with these questions. I feel really... Thank you, Brittany. That felt really great. I'm so glad.
I tend to just want to give it away.
I'm so glad.
Usually, like, if
Did
I get
you,
gifted something,
Lindsay?
it's not worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Oh, you know what I can think of? Like a gift card. That's where it's done.
You've sold that though?
Like someone gifts you a $100 gift card
Yeah.
to a restaurant you wouldn't darken the door of.
But you would just re-gift it. You wouldn't sell
No,
it.
I
What would
would-
you not darken the door of? I was thinking, I immediately went Cheesecake Factory, and I love it. Like where would you get a gift
I'll
card?
give you an example. And
Red Robin?
well, like we've got this as a gift, and it's just a place that we have not been to in years.
Yes, I love Bougie George.
O'Charlie's.
I love Charlie's.
I just haven't been. I can't think of the next time we're gonna do a date night
The
at
potato
O'Charlie's.
soup
Give
and the
them to
bread. That's
me.
all I remember.
Okay, if I still
Give
have
it
them,
to me.
I'm gonna
I
give it to the
love
Heatherleys.
their
Do we still have one in Nashville?
salads. Yeah.
That's also
It's
the
off
thing.
of
I don't even-
96.
Okay.
Oh,
She
that's
knows.
right. Yeah. I do know that one.
She's like, the address is.
Do I know my order? Yes, I do. But it's
Yes. Do they still have the one off
All
Old
right.
Hickory
You
Boulevard?
know what? We're gonna do a double date at O'Charlie's.
I can't wait.
Double date with Whitney and
Pregnant
Jordan.
Lindsay's even more excited.
Okay, would you do O'Charlie's or Olive Garden?
O'Charlie's.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, Charlie's.
And you get free pie.
Baby
on
back
Wednesday.
ribs, barbecue sauce.
Baby back
different,
ribs.
Different.
Wow. Okay.
Chili's or O'Charlie's.
Oh,
Oh.
Charlie's.
Wow, you
I
are.
gotta go Chili's.
I don't like
You
Chili's.
are a fan. Oh, I love
See,
Chili's.
I'm not a
Chili's in the
Chili's
airport's my
girl.
favorite.
It's time for
I
our-
like
So
Texas
good.
Roadhouse. Did you like Texas
Is that
Roadhouse?
the one with the peanuts on the ground?
Yes.
No, go Chili's over Texas Roadhouse.
No.
Wow.
New episode idea. Let me know if you want this in the comments. We do a bracket style challenge
That would be
Of
fast
American
food.
chain
Yes.
for
restaurants.
American chain corporate restaurants. Bracket style challenge.
Love it.
Oh, y'all, I love going out to eat. It is like such my
I've never
kryptonite.
seen so much
I
joy
take
in your
her to
face.
Chili's. I
Chili's.
cannot wait. We're getting Sonic tonight for dinner because the girls have swim lessons. Wow. And I cannot wait for mozzarella sticks. And I love it, y'all.
It's
I
more for you than the
love-
girls. Can we just admit that?
I know. I just love going out to eat. It is so fun.
It is fun. I agree.
So
All
good.
right.
Okay.
Now we know.
So great.
Don't
Well-
sell your gift cards on Facebook.
There you go. Okay.
That's what it was. It was in the work forums. And I was like, oh no. I hope someone from
You were
work.
selling it on the
Yeah,
work
like someone
forums?
from work gave it to us. And I was like, I can't list this on the work forums because then they're
ooh.
going to see it.
You're right
Yeah.
about that.
It's a thought that counts. I appreciate the
What if I sold your
generosity.
$5 Starbucks card that you got me for my birthday? Would
You
be
remembered
offended?
that?
Yeah.
Have you not
George was
used
so
it?
not- No, I don't drink Starbucks really. Remember, I like Keurig.
But you like the chai tea.
I do like chai tea. I just never go through Starbucks drive-through.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss O'Charlie's. Not worth it. All right. That's fine.
I just had my first, speaking of coffee, cold brew from your set, actually. Ebu
You
made.
gave her coffee from my set? The
Ebu took-
Starbucks Nitro cans? That's high quality. Why would you give it to her?
I
She
know,
can't
because I
appreciate
never had
that.
a nice coffee.
I
I think I had one in my life. I'm not a
That's
nice
good
coffee.
stuff.
And it was delicious. I drank
It's
about
smooth.
half.
It's not bitter. Can I tell you that was 140 milligrams of caffeine?
Half of it is.
So that was like 2 shots of espresso in half a can is what you had.
Holy crap. I'm so glad I didn't drink that whole thing.
Yeah,
and now
you
I'm
would-
drinking a Moscow Mule.
And can I be honest?
My
I drank
body's
an
like,
entire
what do I
can
do?
before I came out here.
Are you not
That-
that's why you have sleep issues, George. You can't drink that much caffeine.
You don't get to diagnose me.
That is a lot of caffeine.
Who are you to judge?
I'm shook.
Who are you to judge? You're drinking at 4 p.m., Rachel. Who are you to judge? You're on the
All
clock.
right, all right. Who finished first?
Let's see. Let's compare notes. I think I'm a little closer.
Yeah, I think
It
you
was
are.
just so cold that it was like hard to grab. This was a Moscow Mule, which is a classic beverage. It breaks down to $2.55 per glass. So a pretty affordable
Yeah.
cocktail. Here's what's in it. It's got vodka, fresh lime juice. It's got to be fresh. Ginger beer, which is non-alcoholic, by the way, and simple syrup. So you mix those things together. It's gingery, it's limey, it's got that zip and zang, and it's a classic for a reason.
And you know, I've heard of a Mexican mule, and instead of vodka, you do tequila.
And there's a Kentucky Mule where you use bourbon.
That's right. Yes.
I'm sure there's one with rum. Oh, Dark and Stormy is rum and ginger beer with
Okay.
lime.
Fun. Yeah, yeah.
So there you go.
It's a great drink.
You
It
can
really
make all
is.
kinds of things with it. And listen, if you want to make it a mocktail, it's a great one. Just leave out the vodka and do ginger beer, lime juice, and simple syrup. You may not even need the simple
And
syrup.
mint. You got to muddle that mint.
And that's right. They didn't include this on here, but I think fresh mint, you can muddle it if you like, add it on top. We've got some in here. That really makes it pop.
well, what do you
delicious.
guys rate it? You didn't say.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Okay. I am not,
you don't like ginger, do you?
yeah, I'm not a ginger beer fan. So I wouldn't order at a restaurant, but it was good. So I'm like, ooh, I'm going to go 7 because of that.
I'm going to go 7 as well. I used to love them, but any drink that I can make at home in 2 seconds, I'm like, it's less exciting for me. I like something a little more complex, more interesting. This is fine, but I think my palate has, it's advanced, Rachel.
Well, I'll make sure that we order you one at O'Charlie's next
Yeah,
time we
we'll
all
make
go
sure
on
it's
an
That's the
extra
move.
tart.
unbelievable.
Yeah, if I was going to do this again, I would add even more lime. I
Of
want
course
extra
you would.
gingery, extra
Sour.
limey, sour. Yeah.
the
but-
cheesecake.
Just give him a Sour Patch Kid bag.
Honestly, that sounds delicious. If that was a drink, I would order it.
You would drink it. All right, it's closing time. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review. We love hearing from you guys in the comments, in the review section. It's so great. And pass this episode along to friends, to family, because getting the word out is so helpful
And
to
let's
us.
invest together, Don't gatekeep.
Let's invest in love
Spread the
and
wealth.
peace and our retirement.
Amen. Don't retire broke.
Thanks, you guys, for watching and listening. And we'll see you next Thursday on an all new episode of Smart Money Happy Hour.